Take a deep breath. Surprising facts about oxygen. They say too much of anything is bad for you. Believe it or not, that's true of the oxygen that powers our bodies. If we breathed air that was more than 75% oxygen, we could die within days. Our lungs couldn't cope. Our bodies are used to air that's 21% oxygen, and even that's harmful over a lifetime. The body makes use of around 98% of the oxygen it takes in, and the rest transforms into free radicals, molecules that attack and damage our cells over time. Oxygen, then, is actually toxic in large doses. But after 3 to 4 billion years of evolution of life on Earth, shouldn't our bodies be better at processing oxygen? To try to answer that question, it's important to understand that oxygen wasn't always present in the atmosphere. Because of this, scientists believe that the first life forms on the planet were anaerobic. They were able to survive without oxygen. It was only after plants established themselves that oxygen appeared in the atmosphere. This appearance of oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere some 2.2 billion years ago is known as the Great Oxidation Event. Plants, unlike animals, don't need oxygen but produce it through photosynthesis, the process by which they convert sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide into energy. Because oxygen is a byproduct of photosynthesis, it took more than 1 billion years for enough of it to build up in the atmosphere and give rise to animal life. Fossil evidence suggests animals first appeared about 700 million years ago in the oceans. The first animal life forms had extremely thin bodies in relation to their size. Scientists believe this allowed them to make maximum use of the low amounts of oxygen present in the ocean. Around 500 million years ago, atmospheric oxygen levels were high enough to enable animals to venture out of the ocean and onto land. The amount of oxygen in our atmosphere has not increased steadily. In fact, 300 million years ago, oxygen was actually more abundant in the air than it is now, making up 50% of it. As a result, animals were much bigger than they are today. There were insects, for example, which measured more than 2.5 feet from the tip of one wing to another. Scientists recently bred dragonflies this size in 50% oxygen environments. They say the dragonflies were able to grow so big because in oxygen-rich atmospheres, insects don't need the large breathing systems which normally limit the size of their bodies. By 240 million years ago, though, oxygen levels had fallen to just 12% of the air. If it's surprising that the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere has varied during animal evolution, it's perhaps even more surprising to learn that the planet is more dependent on oxygen produced in the oceans than on land. Scientists estimate that sea algae replaced around 90% of the oxygen in the biosphere. So, today's most complex life forms not only originated in an environment in which they now cannot breathe, the ocean, they rely on it for their survival.